The air in that cramped Manhattan spa room hung heavy with eucalyptus and unspoken hunger. The kind that claws at your chest when you've spent too long pretending. I lay there, face buried in the padded cradle. My body a battlefield of knots from endless boardroom battles and nights alone in my Hell's Kitchen walk-up, wondering if this was the night I'd finally shatter. Then his hand calloused, yet impossibly tender, slid lower, and with a deliberate tug, the towel slipped away, cool air kissing my skin as his breath ghosted my ear. Thomas, I've been waiting for you. My heart slammed against the table like it was trying to escape. Every nerve firing in a chaos I'd only read about in the dog-eared novels I hid under my mattress back in Ohio. His name was Alex, though I'd only learned it from the faded tattoo peeking from his wrist. A compass rose, pointing nowhere and everywhere at once. 32, he said earlier in that low, gravelly voice that wrapped around vowels like smoke, with eyes the color of storm clouds over the Hudson. Me. 28. A rising star in a cutthroat ad agency. The golden boy who aced every pitch but choked on the truth every time a colleague slapped my back and called me bro. We'd met 20 minutes ago at the front desk. My reservation a desperate Hail Mary after a breakup that left me hollow. Her words still echoing, "You're not. You. Tom. Not really. But Alex." He saw through the terry cloth armor from the jump, his gaze lingering just a beat too long on the way my shoulders slumped under the fluorescent lobby lights. As he worked the oil into my calves, his thumbs pressing deep into the ache I'd carried since high school locker rooms where whispers turned to shoves, I fought the urge to bolt. New York was supposed to be the cure-all, the city where secrets dissolved into the skyline. But mine stuck like tar family back home praying for grandkids. A LinkedIn profile screaming straight-laced success, and a mirror that lied every morning. "Breathe with me," Alex murmured, his voice a rumble that vibrated through the table. I did, inhaling the scent of him, sandalwood and something sharper, like regret polished smooth. His hands climbed higher, mapping the curve of my thighs with a reverence that made my throat tighten. This wasn't just a massage. It was a confession, his fingers spelling out questions I hadn't dared ask myself. By the time he flipped me over, eyes averted in that professional dance we both knew was bullshit, room felt smaller, the steam thicker, like the walls were closing in to witness whatever this was. His face hovered above mine, jaw set with a hunger that mirrored my own, the kind born from years of sidelong glances in crowded bars and apps deleted in panic. "Tell me what you need, Thomas," he said, not a command but a plea, his palm flat against my chest where my pulse betrayed me. I wanted to laugh, to shove him away and flee into the October chill outside. But instead, words tumbled out. Everything. And nothing. God, I don't even know. He smiled then, slow and devastating, leaning down until our breaths mingled. "Then let me show you." That night blurred into a fever dream of tangled sheets in his Brooklyn brownstone, the city lights painting our skin in neon confessions. Alex's body against mine was revelation, hard lines yielding to soft urgency, his whispers turning my name into a prayer. We moved like we'd been starved, hands exploring territories marked forbidden on every map I'd ever drawn. Dawn crept in through cracked blinds, finding us spent and staring at the ceiling, his head on my shoulder as rain pattered against the fire escape. "This isn't just tonight," he said, tracing lazy circles on my hip. "Is it?" I swallowed the fear rising like bile. Remembering the voicemail from Mom that morning, church picnic this weekend. Bring a date. I want it not to be. I admitted. Voice cracking. But want and reality. They were oil and water in a world that still flinched at rainbows. The next week dragged like a hangover. My desk a fortress of spreadsheets hiding stolen glances at my phone texts from Alex. Simple things like coffee. That hit harder than any deadline. We met in hidden corners, a dimly lit cafe in the village where he sketched logos on napkins. His artist soul clashing beautifully with my corporate grind. A midnight walk along the High Line where he shared stories of foster homes and the first boy who broke his heart in a Texas trailer park. I ran. He confessed, lacing our fingers under the shadow of the tracks. All the way to here. But you're still fighting the pull. He was right. Every call home twisted the knife Dad's gruff when you settling down. Son. Laced with the unspoken judgment that had sent my cousin spiraling into silence after coming out. Yet with Alex, the fight felt winnable. His laugh a lifeline pulling me from the undertow. But cracks formed fast in our fragile idol. It started with a client dinner. Me in a suit that felt like chains. Charming execs over steak while my mind replayed the taste of Alex's skin. One of them, a silver-haired VP named Harlan with a grip like a vice, cornered me by the bar. Heard you're seeing someone. She must be a knockout to snag a guy like you. The word she landed like a slap. And I froze. The lie automatic, yeah. She's great. But Harlan's eyes narrowed. That predatory gleam I'd seen in boardrooms aimed at deals. Not people. Good. We like our stars uncomplicated. Uncomplicated. The word haunted me on the subway ride home. Alex waiting with takeout, and that easy smile that crumbled when I spilled it all. You're not uncomplicated. Thomas, he said, pulling me close. You're alive. And that's terrifying. We pushed through. Stealing weekends in upstate cabins where the world narrowed to crackling fires and his body arched under mine. Moans echoing off pine walls. Romance bloomed in the quiet moments, him painting my portrait by lamplight. Capturing the vulnerability I hid from everyone else. Me surprising him with tickets to a Broadway show about lost boys finding their way. Our hands clasped tight as the curtain rose. But the kitsch tin crept in like fog off the river. Anonymous emails starting to ping my inbox. Vague threats laced with details only someone close could know. Careful who you let in. One read. Attached to a blurry photo of us kissing in that cafe. My stomach dropped. Stalker. Jealous ex. Or worse, Harlan. Sniffing out weakness to leverage in the next promotion round. Paranoia shadowed our every step. Alex wanted to go public. His firebrand heart demanding we shout it from the rooftops. But I balked. Visions of pitchforks from my conservative roots flashing like lightning. This city's supposed to be safe. He argued one night, pacing his loft as thunder rattled the windows. But you're letting ghosts dictate. He was half right. The other half was the real world, where a colleague's casual fairy joke at lunch drew laughs. And my own reflection still whispered doubts. We fought ugly. Words like daggers, him accusing me of cowardice. Me hurling his recklessness back. He stormed out into the storm, leaving me with the echo of slammed doors and the cold side of the bed. Days stretched into a chasm. my unanswered texts piling like unanswered prayers. Work became a blur. Harlan's promotions dangling like bait. His friendly lunches probing deeper. Everything okay at home? You seem distracted. I nodded through gritted teeth. The photo burned into my brain. Then, the gay can twist, a call from an unknown number. Alex's voice ragged on the line. Thomas, don't come here. It's static. Then nothing. Heart in my throat. I raced to his studio in Bushwick. The door ajar. Canvases slashed like wounds. Empty. No blood. Thank God. But his compass tattoo sketch crumpled on the floor. Panic clawed me as I dialed 911. The operators calm a mockery of my unraveling world. Cops dismissed it as a break-in. Kids probably. But I knew better the emails. The precision. Harlan. Or someone from Alex's past. That foster brother he'd mentioned in hushed tones. The one who'd sworn vengeance after Alex left him behind. I scoured the city like a man possessed, alleys where we'd laughed. Bars where we'd danced incognito. Even the spa where it all ignited. The receptionist paling at my frantic questions. He hasn't been back since. You. Nights blurred into fevered searches. My apartment a war room of printed maps and red-string theories. Sleep stolen by nightmares of Alex bound and broken because of me. The breakthrough came in a dingy internet cafe in the East Village. A tip from an old app contact, Alex spotted at a shelter uptown. The kind for runaways with nowhere left. I barreled through traffic. Rain-slick streets mirroring my terror. Bursting into the dimly lit common room to find him bruised jaw. Defiant eyes huddled with a group of wide-eyed kids. Sketching to calm their shakes. Thomas. He breathed. Surging up to crush me in an embrace that tasted of salt and survival. His ex-foster brother. It turned out. High on meth and grudges. Had tracked him down. The break-in a warning shot. But Alex. He'd fought back. Hidden here to protect us both. Waiting for the storm to pass. We didn't sleep that night. Tangled in a borrowed cot. His bruises a map of battles I'd failed to fight beside him. I thought I'd lost you. I whispered. Fingers tracing the swelling on his cheek. You almost did. He replied. Voice fierce. But I'm done running. With you or without. The words ignited something unbreakable in meth realization that love wasn't the fairy tale of effortless bliss, but the gritty choice to stand in the fire. We reported it all. Harlan's name surfacing in the investigation like the snake he was. His promotions exposed as blackmail ploys against anyone different. Justice. Slow. But coming. A small win in a world still rigged. Months later, as snow dusted Central Park, we walked hand in hand under the bare branches. No hiding. No apologies. My family. A tentative call to Mom. Her voice trembling but open. Just be happy. Son. That's all we ever wanted. Alex's compass tattoo now matched one on my wrist, pointing true north toward each other, toward the messy, beautiful truth of who we were. The spa, that fateful room. We returned once, not for release, but renewal as hands on me again, whispering my name like a vow. In the end, it wasn't the pull of the towel or the thrill of the forbidden that bound us. It was the courage to let it all fall away, bare and unashamed. In a city that, against all odds, learned to whisper back. The winter thaw brought no ease to the knot in my gut, even as Alex's bruises faded to yellow ghosts on his skin. We'd moved in together a cramped but sunlit one-bedroom in Williamsburg. Walls already splashed with his abstracts. Chaotic swirls of blue and gold that mirrored the storm inside me. Mornings started with his coffee brewing strong. Black as the doubts that lingered, was this real? Or just another phase I'd outgrow under the glare of normalcy? Harlan's downfall had been swift after the cops connected his emails traced to a burner laptop in his office. His empire crumbling in a flurry of HR memos and non-disclosure settlements. I got the promotion. Ironic twist. But it tasted like ash. A crown forged from someone else's pain. Alex sensed it. Of course. His artists, I'm missing nothing. You're carrying it alone again, he'd say. Pulling me onto the fire escape for smokes, we both swore we'd quit. The city sprawled below. A glittering beast indifferent to our scars. Taxis honking like distant applause. I'd spilled in the fear that success would demand I sand down my edges. Become the exec who golfs with the boys and toasts to wives at galas. You're not sandyable, Thomas, he'd counter, nipping my earlobe with a grin that disarmed me every time. You're marble-hard one, full of veins. His words wove romance into the everyday, surprise picnics in Prospect Park with prosciutto and cheap Prosecco, where he'd read me poetry from dog-eared Ginsberg, his voice turning howl into a love letter. But the gay can undercurrent simmered, bubbling up in unexpected places. A gallery opening for Alex's show downtown. His pieces raw depictions of hidden desires. Bodies intertwined in shadow and light drawing murmurs from the crowd. I stood proud at his side. Suit tailored sharp. But when a critic sidled up, martini in hand, his whisper cut deep, bold work. Your muse must be uninhibited. The implication hung, laced with that old-world disdain masked as wit. Alex laughed it off later over ramen in a hole in the wall. But I saw the flicker in his eyes, the exhaustion of performing authenticity in rooms built for pretense. They'll never get it, he said, chopsticks pausing midair. But you do. That's enough. Was it? In bed that night, our lovemaking turned urgent. A reclaiming his nails raking my back as I buried myself in him. Gasps sinking like a heartbeat. Mine, I growled. The possessiveness a balm to the world's barbs. Spring unfurled with tentative blooms, mirroring the fragile peace we nurtured. I took him to Ohio for Easter. A gamble that paid off in tears and tentative hugs. Mom's pie still the best. Dad's handshake firmer than before. Their questions gentle now. He treats you right. Alex charmed them with stories of his latest mural commission for a queer youth center. His passion lighting the farmhouse like fireflies. On the drive back, windows down, wind whipping our hair. He squeezed my thigh. See, the world's wider than you think. Romance peaked in stolen moments, a weekend in the Hamptons, courtesy of a client's cast-off keys, where we swam nude in moonlit waves. His laughter echoing as we chased each other through surf. This is us, he said, pinning me to the sand. Salt on his lips. Wild and free. Yet Kitchton loomed, inevitable as thunderheads. The emails resumed, not Harlan style, but sharper. Personal, photos from Ohio. My family's address tagged. Tell them, or I will. Panic reignited. Alex's face paling as we poured over them in our kitchen. Coffee gone cold. His foster brother was locked up. But grudges bred copycats in line forums, buzzing with trolls who'd latched onto Alex's rising profile. Doxing threats disguised as fan mail. We beefed up security, new locks. A P.O. box for mail. My agency hiring a PI on the sly. Nights turned vigilant. Sleep fractured by every creak. Our intimacy shifting to something fiercer. Protective sex as armor. His body a shield against the dark. The climax crashed during Pride. That electric week when Manhattan pulsed with color and defiance. We'd planned to march. Arm in arm. A declaration after months of shadows. The route throbbed with drums and cheers. Rainbows everywhere. But as we rounded Union Square, a figure shoved through the crowd hood. Eyes wild. A knife glinting under float lights. Traitor. He snarled at Alex, lunging with venom born of betrayed brotherhood. Time slowed. I tackled him, the blade grazing my arm in a hot sting. Bodies tumbling into the barricades as screams erupted. Alex fought too, fists flying with the fury of survival. The crowd surging to our aid, queer solidarity, a tidal wave. Phones out. Cops swarming. In the ER's harsh fluorescence. Stitches pulling as Alex held my hand. The weight lifted. The attacker. A disciple of the past. Radicalized online. But caught red-handed. His threats ending in cuffs. You saved me, Alex whispered, kissing my knuckles. Tears carving paths down his cheeks. We saved each other. The hospital discharged us to cheers outside news crews. Supporters chanting our names like heroes. Romance reborn in the aftermath, healing together on our couch. Binging old movies. His sketches now of us triumphant. Unbowed. Summer deepened our bond. The city a canvas for new beginnings. I quit the agency, launching a consultancy for inclusive brands, channeling our story into purpose. Alex's gallery sold out, his work a beacon for the hidden. Family visits flowed easier, Mom sending rainbow scarves knitted with love. And us. Evenings on the rooftop, stars pricking the skyline. His head on my lap as I read ad copy aloud. Laughter mingling with the hum of life below. The towel-pulling whisper from that spa. It echoed still. A spark that ignited not just desire, but destiny, the human truth that love, in all its raw, kitsch-tin glory, demands we drop the masks and step into the light. Yet autumn leaves turned, and with them, the subtle erosion of complacency. We'd won battles, but wars of the heart waged on me mirror still a reluctant friend. Alex's sketches occasionally darkening with unspoken fears. A joint therapy session, recommended by the PI who'd become an unlikely ally. Unearthed roots, my Ohio repression clashing with his Texas rebellion. Patterns repeating in passive-aggressive silences. You're building walls again, the counselor noted, her voice neutral as a scalpel. Alex nodded, hurt flickering. I deflected with jokes until his hand on mine cracked the facade. I love you too much to lose you to ghosts, he said later, over candlelit tie in our neighborhood spot. That vulnerability fueled a Renaissance date nights intentional. Like salsa lessons in a sweaty studio where his hips against mine spun frustration into fire. The Lang man deepened in layers. Unexpected and profound. He surprised me with a road trip to the Grand Canyon. Flying economy to Phoenix, then driving dusty highways. windows down to howl Springsteen at the top of our lungs. At the rim, sunset bleeding red across the chasm. He dropped to one knee, not with a ring, but a vow, marry the mess of me. Thomas. All in. No takebacks. Tears blurred the vista as I pulled him up, our kiss sealing it against the wind's roar. Back in New York, planning unfolded amid chaos. Venue hunts in the Finger Lakes. Invites to a blended guest list of ad whizzes and street artists. Mom offered her ring, resized for his finger. Dad practiced son-in-law in the mirror, or so she claimed with a wink. But Kitch 10, that uninvited guest, crashed the rehearsal dinner. A distant cousin from my side, face flushed with wine and old prejudices, cornered Alex in the garden. You turned my boy, didn't you? Devil's work. The words hung like smoke. Guests freezing as I stormed over. Heart pounding. He's the best thing that's happened to me. I shot back, voice steady despite the quake inside. Alex stood tall, replying with quiet steel, love doesn't turn anyone. It reveals. The cousin slunk away, but the rift lingered. Family texts pinging with pleas and prayers. That night, in our hotel, anger melted into making love slow. Affirming. His whispers tracing my spine. We're unbreakable. The wedding dawned crisp. A barn venue strung with lights. Wildflowers nodding in the breeze. Vows exchanged under an arch of woven vines. Mine stumbling through tears. You pulled back more than a towel that day you unveiled me. His, and I'll keep whispering your name. Through every storm. Cheers erupted. Rainbows in every boutonniere. The reception a blur of toasts and dances, mom twirling with Alex. Dad clapping my back with pride. Romance peaked in the honeymoon suite. Bodies entwined as confetti rained. Laughter turning to moans in the sacred space we'd carved. Post-bliss. Life settled into rhythm. But the emotional undercurrents stirred anew. Alex's mural for the youth center went viral. Drawing hate mail that tested our resolve, swastikas scrawled on studio doors. Calls threatening our home. I shielded him, fielding the ugliness while he poured it into art, a massive piece of intertwined figures defying shadows. Titled, Whispers Unsilenced. Opening night packed the gallery. Supporters outnumbering detractors. But as we locked up, a brick through the window shattered glass and illusion. They're afraid, Alex said, sweeping shards as sirens wailed. Of what we represent. We fortified alarms. Community watches, but the incident crystallized our human value, not victims, but voices. Winter circled back. Holidays a tapestry of chosen family queer friends over turkey. Stories swapped like gifts. My consultancy thrived. Campaigns celebrating diversity that echoed our journey. Alex taught workshops, mentoring kids like his younger self. His patience a quiet heroism. Intimacy evolved. Less frantic. More profound, lazy Sundays tracing tattoos. Conversations delving into dreams deferred. The hook of that massage room. It anchored us. A reminder that from vulnerability springs strength. As spring bloomed again. A final twist, a letter from the cousin. Apologetic. Enclosing a check for the gallery repairs. Forgive an old fool. It read. We did. Over coffee in neutral territory. Bridges mending in awkward grace. Life's kitsch tin faded to hum. Replaced by the steady pulse of purpose love as activism. Romance as revolution. Years folded like origami. Each crease a lesson in resilience. 5 years married. Our Williamsburg nest expanded a nursery painted sky blue. Adoption papers in process for a little boy from the shelter where Alex volunteered. Fatherhood loomed. Terrifying and tantalizing. My nights pacing with what-ifs. Could I be the dad who normalized rainbows? Or would old shadows creep in? Alex, ever the anchor, rubbed my back during those vigils. We'll whisper truths to him, like we do each other. His hands, those same ones from the spa, now mapped our shared future with the same tender intent. The Lang man matured, woven into domesticity without losing spark. Anniversaries marked with rituals, recreating that first massage in our bathroom. Oils and steam. Towels tugged with playful reverence. Surprise getaways to cabins where we'd first dreamed aloud. But emotions tide pulled deep. Alex's diagnosis came quietly. A routine checkup turning to whispers of prostate concerns. Tests confirming early-stage cancer. The word hit like that brick through the window, shattering our rhythm. Treatable, docs assured. But the fear gnawed. Nights he'd curl into me, body racked with silent sobs. My vows replaying like mantra. Kitchen surged in hospital waits. Chemo suites sterile as doubt. I juggled work. The boy Elias. Foreign fierce. With curls like Alex shielding them both with forced cheer. Daddy's getting superpowers. I'd tell Eli. Distracting with stories of caped crusaders. Alex fought like a storm. Art his weapon, sketches from the infusion chair. Vibrant despite the pallor. Supporters rallied gallery fundraisers. Family flying in. Mom's quilts a soft armor. Romance persisted in stolen intimacies, his head in my lap during drives home. Fingers laced as drugs dulled the edges. You pulled me through once. He murmured. Eyes glassy. Pull harder now. The gay can peak, a relapse scare mid-treatment. Fever spiking. ER dashes blurring into prayer. I raged at God in chapel corners, bargaining with ghosts of my closeted youth. But community surged pride allies. Queer elders sharing survival, tales reminding us isolation was the real killer. Alex rallied. Treatments tweaking. Scans clearing like dawn. We're the miracle, he declared. Bald head gleaming under gallery lights at his recovery show. Pieces born of battle, resilient figures emerging from ash. Eli's adoption finalized on a sun-drenched court day. Our family sealed with judge's gavel and hugs. Homecomings bloomed, bedtime stories tripling voices. Park picnics where Alex sketched Eli's gap-toothed grin. Emotion crested in quiet victories. Eli's first, I love my dad's. Pure as spring rain. The cancer receded to remission. Scars a testament to tenacity. Decades mark approached. Our love a tapestry frayed but fortified. The spa. A pilgrimage site now. Annual rituals renewing vows in steam-scented air. Thomas and Alex, husbands. Fathers. Survivors' whispers evolved to roars. Proving love's human value, not perfection, but persistence. Turning pain to power. One revealed truth at a time. Eli's laughter echoed through our home like sunlight. A 6-year-old tornado of questions and cuddles that grounded us amid the whirl. School drop-offs became my domain. Ties straightened in rearview mirrors. His backpack swinging as he dashed to friends diverse, crew mirroring our mosaic world. Alex dove deeper into mentorship. His youth center mural expanding to a wall of hope. Kids' handprints dotting the edges. They're us. Back then, he'd say. Paint-flecked cheeks flushed. Romance simmered in the mundane, stolen kisses over dish suds. His foot hooking mine under dinner tables. Eli giggling at our gross displays. But life's underbelly stirred, work pressures mounting as my consultancy scaled. Deadlines clashing with family rhythms. A major client, conservative conglomerate, pushed back on our rainbow-infused campaign. Tone it down. Thomas. Not everyone's on board. The echo of Harlan's ghost made my jaw clench. Boardroom battles replaying closet wars. Home. I'd unload on Alex. His empathy is salve. Fight smart. Not silent. His advice fueled a pivot-pitching boulder, tying ethics to profits. The client folding under public pressure from our allies. Kitsch tin brewed in Eli's schoolyard. A bully's taunt, your dad's weird. Landing like a punch. His tear-streaked face at pickup shattering me. We navigated it together, talks with teachers. Alex's art therapy sessions for Eli. Drawing out feelings in crayon storms. Love's not weird. Alex told him. Hugging tight. It's magic. The incident galvanized us community workshops on inclusion. My speeches at PDAs weaving personal threads. Emotions swelled in Eli's pride. Parading our wedding album to show and tell. Classmates oohing over the pretty daddies. Langman reignited in a Babamun wait. No. A family escaped to Cape Cod. Beaches sandy with promise as Eli built castles. We walked hand in hand at dusk. Remember the towel? Alex teased, nuzzling my neck. Best decision of my life. Laughter bubbled, turning to passion in beach house shadows. Waves crashing accompaniment. Back home, Eli's questions deepened. Why do some people hate? We'd answer honestly, planting seeds of empathy. A curveball, Alex's book deal. Memoirs of our journey, whispers to roars, demanding vulnerability on pages. Doubts assailed, would exposure invite old threats? But his fire prevailed. Writing sessions in cafes where I'd join. Editing with coffee-fueled fervor. Launch night buzzed. Readings packed. Eli beaming from front row. Critics lauded the human warmth. Sales soaring. But a trollish review stung. Sensationalized sob story. We shrugged it off over champagne. Toasting resilience. As Eli turned 8, our love's fabric strengthened volunteer trips to shelters. Family game nights laced with inside jokes. The massages echo. A foundational hum. Reminding that from one whispered name bloomed a legacy of love unyielding. Adolescence crept in with Eli at 10. Hormones and attitudes testing our triad's harmony. Slang slinging. Door slamming phases where whatever. Dad replaced cuddles. His room a fortress of posters, superheroes, and subtle pride flags. Alex and I tag-teamed, my structured talks on accountability. His creative outlets channeling angst into graffiti art. He's testing waters we swam. Alex noted over wine. After a particularly stormy grounding. Romance buffered the strained date nights at jazz clubs. His hand and mind swaying to saxophones. Recapturing early sparks. Professionally. Waves crested, my TEDx invite. Unveiling authenticity in corporate America. Nerves jangling as I scripted our story spa hooked to family hearth. Rehearsals in living rooms. Alex directing with gentle critiques. Eli critiquing with eye rolls. The stage loomed. Lights hot. Audience expectant. Words flowed. Raw and riveting. Applause thundering like validation. Backstage. Alex's embrace. You whispered to the world. The talk viraled. Inquiries flooding. Our consultancy exploding. Kitsch tin ignited via Eli's first Crucial classmate. Non-binary and nervous. Confided over pizza night. I like Jamie. He mumbled. Cheeks flaming. Heart swelling. We guided consent chats. Allyship lessons. Alex sharing his teen fumblings. School dance loomed. Eli's tuxedo twirls and mirrors comical yet poignant. Pickup post-event, him glowing. Hand holding Jamie shyly. It was perfect. He beamed. But whispers follow parent complaints. Principal calls. We rallied, petitions. Town halls. Our voices amplified by the TED buzz. Victory, inclusive policies penned. Eli's confidence soaring. Emotion peaked in a family ritual annual spa revisit. Now with Eli in tow, kid-friendly version. Towels draped dramatically as we retold the tale. Laughter echoing. That's how you met. Eli marveled. Wide-eyed. Whispers make the best stories. Alex winked. Challenges persisted. Alex's remission checkups. Routine now but shadowed by what-ifs. Clean bills brought relief. Celebrated with rooftop stargazing. Eli's telescope unveiling constellations. Lang man in maturity. Anniversary tattoos refreshed. His lips on fresh ink. Vows renewed sans words. Eli's bar mitzvah blended traditions. Our Jewish roots via Alex's adoptive family marked passage. His speech on love's spectrum tear-jerking. Guests toasting our whispered legacy. The night a pinnacle of human warmth. Through it, our core endured, from pulled towel to pulled together family. Love's drama yielding profound peace. Eli's teens tumbled in at 13. A whirlwind of growth spurts and identity quests. Skateboard scars. Late-night debates on climate and equality. His room evolving to debate trophies and zine collection self-published rants on queer history. Alex mentored his activism. Co-facilitating center workshops. I handled the logistics. PDA battles now second nature. He's got your fire. My structure. Alex quipped during parent-teacher conferences. His squeeze under the table a spark amid tedium. Our romance. Seasoned. Found new flames in shared pursuits. Pottery classes where clay-smeared kisses led to home studios. Vessels born of hands that knew each curve. A milestone trip to Paris. Eli's school break aligning wandering Seine banks. Croissants crumbling as we traced Hemingway haunts. Alex sketching Eiffel silhouettes with our initials etched. Global whispers. He murmured, pulling me into alcoves for breaths stolen from tourists. Kitsch tin flared domestically. Eli's coming out. Casual over breakfast. I'm gay. Duh met with hugs and we knew. Kiddo. But ripples hit. A coach's sidelong glances. Team locker whispers. Eli shrugged outwardly. But journals pilfered in my worry revealed hurt. We intervene sports equity advocates. Alex's book cited in pleas. Resolution, coach retrained. Eli captaining with pride. Scoring winning goals rainbow armband. Emotion layered in losses too. Grandpa's passing. Dad's dad. His bedside gruff forgiveness for the path you chose, now cherished. Funeral rains mirrored grief. But eulogies wove our story in. Family bonds tightening. Alex's quiet support holding space for my sobs deepened intimacy. Grief transmuted to gratitude in tear-streaked nights. Professionally. Pinnacles, Alex's TED follow-up. Our joint talk on Love's Long Arc. Stage shared. Hands clasped mid-story. Applause swelled. But post-fame fatigue nipped stalker echoes in fan mail. Boundaries redrawn. We retreated to the cabin. Eli gaming remotely. Us rebuilding in wood smoke and whispers. Eli's high school musical hymn as understudy turned lead in a queer retelling of Romeo drew crowds. Our front row tears proud. Post-curtain. His embrace. Thanks for the script of us. Mid-40s now. Body softer but soul sharper. Our love a testament. Kitsch tin conquered. Lang man eternal. Value in vulnerability's echo. Eli's launch to college loomed at 18. Dorm packing a bittersweet frenzy boxes of art supplies. Protest signs folded like memories. Drop-off day dawn misty. Ithaca's hills hugging us as we unloaded. His roommate a vibrant echo of young Alex. Hugs lingered. My throat tight. Call anytime. Kid. His grin. So like his father's, whispers on speed dial. Drive home silent at first. Then cathartic Alex's hand on my knee. Tears flowing free. Empty nest echoed. But opportunity bloomed, travels planned. A sabbatical for my consultancy. His next book brewing. Romance roared back, untethered. Spontaneous weekends in Napa. Vineyards blurring as we danced under stars. Vows whispered vinous and vow deep. Intimacy rediscovered slow explorations. Bodies mapped afresh. Laughter at creaky joints yielding to sighs. Kitsch tin. Subdued. Surfaced in legacy, Eli's campus activism. Viral videos of sit-ins we'd advised from afar. A threat call to our home overzealous for revived old vigils. But we faced it schooled, lawyers looped. Safety nets woven. Resolution swift. His pride beaming via FaceTime, learned from the best. Emotion crested in anniversaries 20 years. Spa pilgrimage evolved to vow renewal. Officiant Eli via Zoom. His voice cracking. You taught me love's the ultimate plot twist. Guests from decades foster kin. Agency alums toasted. Confetti are confetti. Reflections deepened, my memoir sequel. Co-authored. Tracing from Towel to Triumph. Alex's Gallery Retrospective. Lifetime works a timeline of userly shadows to luminous nows. Grandparenthood hinted as Eli dated seriously. His partner a poet with fire-matching eyes. Visits promised. Circles completing.